Machon Zomet was founded 30 years ago to merge things that come up in modern life with age-old Jewish law.
Now, there's more and more technologies. Does it become harder to be religious and observant, or maybe even easier with all the technologies and the solutions?
I think in a lot of ways it's become easier, because it used to be that when someone became old, all week long they'd sit around in their house, wouldn't be able to leave, and also on the Sabbath. Now modern technology has allowed, giving people mobility so they can go around as they please during the week. And with our changes, we've been able to make it so that they can also use the same electric scooters or electric wheelchairs also on the Shabbat.
Now, without going into too much of the technical details, how could that be? We always learn that electricity, turning on lights, on Shabbat.
So the way it works is very simple. We have to ask ourselves, why is electricity forbidden on Shabbat? The first reason is because it could be considered fire. The second, because it could be considered building. And the third, because it could be considered creating something new. So what we have is something very interesting. In a lot of electrical things, like an electric scooter, there's no fire. It's not hot, there's no light, so it's not considered to be fire. And then what's left is basically, according to Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, things that are forbidden by the rabbis, not things that are forbidden by the Torah. And because there's a commandment from the prophets to enjoy the Sabbath, Oneg Shabbat, that overrides the things that have been forbidden by the rabbis for people who are handicapped, and enables us to allow them to use electric scooters and to use electric wheelchairs by modulating existing currents on Shabbat. We don't turn anything on, we don't close any circuits. All we're doing is modulating existing currents. I guess it's important to explain that most people, when they think of enjoying the Sabbath, it's something very simple. They don't teach it. You know, how many days in school do they teach you about the things that are forbidden on Sabbath? Years and years and years. How many days do they teach you how to enjoy the Sabbath? For a few minutes at most. Why? Because most of us take for granted that enjoying the Sabbath is sleeping and eating good food. But for some people who are handicapped, and that would really make the Sabbath a bit of a drag. You know, one girl in Beit Shemesh, before she had the Shabbat wheelchair, said that she used to feel like a rock every week when her mother lit the candles. She felt like she turned into a rock. Why? Because she couldn't move, she couldn't play, she couldn't do anything. She lost her independence. And what we allow people to do is have independence to enjoy the Sabbath, but once again, people who want to use this type of equipment have to ask their local Orthodox rabbi if it's forbidden, if it's permitted for them. Because it's not just something that someone can use because it will be fun, or because it's more easier to get to synagogue on a scooter, or it saves a couple of minutes. It's something that someone who can't walk all week long more than a couple of meters can use in order to go to synagogue and enjoy the Sabbath with their rabbi's permission.
How do you feel about this connection, really, between Torah and science?
Look, I think that the thing that merges Torah and science is a Jewish state. Because if we want to have an independent Jewish state and operate things on Shabbat, we can't really rely on non-Jews in Israel, because for security reasons and other reasons, we want to be entirely an independent Jewish state. And to be an independent Jewish state, that means you have Jewish security and Jewish doctors. And to say that Arabs are going to do all the writing on Shabbat, are going to run things for you on Shabbat, it doesn't work in practice. None of the hospitals really trust the Arabs to write. Usually Jewish doctors do it anyways. And on top of that, we want to be independent. We want to run it ourselves, basically. It's our home, and we want to be the Baal Bayit.